All right, so welcome back. I am Jennie Wolek here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm so excited to see you guys today and continue our conversation on power through a shift. Last time we were together, we talked about the first strategies and the first and the second strategies. And today we're going to dive into leverage and lead generation, which are two of my favorite. And then we'll get back together again next week and finish out the series where we have then covered all 6 of these strategies. It's super fun because many of us are very familiar with the Shift book by Gary Keller and Dave Jinks and Jay Papasan. And it has really always been very important to my business ever since I have known of it. In fact, I remember first learning about all of these tactics from the book, 12 tactics inside of the book Shift. And just back then, even, I mean, it was back in 2009, which is a lot of time that's gone by since then, but just the language and the conversation of the book itself is a great script book for you and your team members to learn how to have conversations with our clients during these different times. There's so many great tools inside of it. So I hope that you guys have reread it. Over the past couple of years, you probably did. It went a shift a different direction during a pandemic, but now we've maybe chilled out a little bit. And so we get to get some skills going again. Jennifer, I see you here. Has it been woken up for you guys again here finally, and some energy? Yeah, it's exciting. Finally, we're going to get rolling. So, we want to always be understanding that real estate markets are ever changing, whether it is a buyer's market or a seller's market or moving in between the two of those. It's always just about supply and demand. And so we just always have to refresh ourselves with the different skills that are needed through the different markets. And sometimes we pull out new tools that we maybe hadn't had to use in a while. And so today we're going to talk about things that are relating to leverage through people and systems and tools, which are my favorite, and then also lead generation, because we can't have a real estate class if we don't talk about lead generation. It is our #1 job description. So if you guys are ready, hopefully you guys that are out there as attendees, you can see the slides. I'm going to pop us up here and get this party started. Now you guys just have to give me a little shout out. Can you see my screen? Yes. No. Hello?
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you.
Yes,
Awesome.
we can see it.
Good. Thank you. There's some engagement. We got this going. Okay. So if you attended last time, you know that we just went pretty fast through all these slides, and then we'll have a pause where we will come back together. Where am I? What just happened? Let's start at the beginning. I think oh, you guys, you don't look at any of this. You are not seeing any of this stuff, right? Somehow it fast forwarded all the way to the end. How about that?
What? We don't
Oh
see
yeah, nothing. I'll just edit that little part out right there. So hello and welcome. Okay, so what we're going to do is work through these slides. I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you guys. Take notes and write down any questions or ahas and anything you want to share relating to this, because we get so much value whenever we mastermind and converse over the material together. But I want to share something with you. So this is a brand new course with Keller Williams University, and it presents a timeline of how long each session should take. And the way that I read it is that all 6 of these strategies should be shared in a couple hours at the most, maybe 2.5 hours. And so that's why I divided them up, 2, 4, 6 total over an hour each time, which would easily get us to the 3-hour mark. And I have a feeling this one might go a little longer. So if you have to get off at the hour, feel free, hop off, totally cool. I will save this recording and then I will post it inside of your Journey with Jennie, the group, the Facebook group. I will post that later on so you can come back to it and reflect and review if you do need to hop off. No worries there. Inside of your Eventbrite link, you should have hopefully gotten a workbook. So if you didn't, then later on, let me know and I can message that over to you. So today we're going to talk about the next strategies that have to do with powering through a shift today is about doing more with less. And also, we're going to get to find the motivated right after that. So do more with less. Leverage. Leverage is a beautiful thing. It is a great way to make your life so much easier. We use leverage in forms of people, systems, and tools. Well, what happens here, though, is inside of the shift, we have this quote. It says, the challenge in a shift is that in order to do more with less, we must make sure that the less can do more. Yikes. So to me, what that means is that every system, every technology, every person in our teams, and even ourselves might need to be doing more. Well, we will need to do more. And you maybe are already feeling that just with a little bit of an adjustment inside of the market. So here's our definition of leverage: to use something to maximize advantage, as in the business needs to leverage its key resources. In this new time, we are probably needing to do more, and we may be making less. And so how can we then do more with less? And so this is all about the time here that we have together today. We're going to dive deep into the core competencies of a business. This comes right from the Shift book. We're going to assess yourself and the people on your team and evaluate your effectiveness that you have already with your systems and your tools. So with everything, we start with our mindset. So I've already realized I'm going to have to do more with less. What that means for me as the leader of my team is I am looking at every salaried position. Are they nailing their role? Any expense that we have, do we need it? We talked about this last week. And is it doing everything that it can do? What is my role in the team? And then this is a time that maybe you need to go back to getting inside of a transaction or back into lead generation. Because remember, at the end of the day, you are the leader of your business because you had the skills and the talent to convert leads and sell houses. And so this is a time where you may need to be the diver back into the leads and the generation. It's up to you, and that's what you get to decide, but we got to get our mindset right around it. So when we're no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So I read that and I said, Viktor Frankl, wait, I know that name. And if you need a book to read, this is one of the best. It is A Man's Search for Meaning. And inside of it, it all is about our mindsets allow us to survive and even thrive. And maybe that's why this was pulled right here in this book as well, is because he actually survived the Holocaust. So you had to have a pretty tough mindset in order to survive such a challenge. So our market shift is not quite as extreme, and we can still understand that our mindset really does matter. So inside of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, you are not, this is not new to you, but Gary says that our business has three L's. Our leads got to come first, because we don't have any leads. We don't have any business at all. And then we take listings, buyer or seller listings. And then soon enough, we will discover that we need help. And this help comes in three forms. Now, inside of this, these 6 strategies, of course, I love it because it's so brilliant and it's so Keller Williams. Every strategy has 6 personal perspectives attached to it. And so the one that is associated with leverage is moving from E to P, because you really must become more purposeful by implementing systems and tools and people and technology in order to break through your natural ceiling of achievement. It's just inevitable. It must happen. And so getting a little bit better at you and the things that you have going on in your business are key to this. So with these 6 core competencies, this is from Shift directly. Now, I remember reading, so you guys remember in bold, we had the job description of a real estate agent. And it was that a realtor's job description is to lead generate, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, and practice and role play. And so if you look at these 6 competencies, they're all inside of these, those 5 job descriptions are inside of that. So lead generate and capture and convert to appointments is still the number 1 job of a real estate agent. That is your number 1 job. The presenting to buyers and sellers and getting agreements, you got to show buyers houses and you market sellers and you write and negotiate contracts and you coordinate the sale and you manage the money. Now, I was always told that if you really look at this and you are at a level of ultimate leverage, you could leverage all of these, but never ever give away fully the lead generation. So maybe your lead generation looks a little differently as the rainmaker and leader of your business. But lead generation in some form is always still something that you do. But you could really, if you guys think about it, find talent and help or technology that can help with some of these this is why we're talking about leverage today. Now, in a tighter market, you may need to keep these things in-house and not necessarily leverage them out. So all about leverage. And here's the deal. And just like in this graphic, it makes so much sense. You are in the middle of all of it. You are the one that creates all of this inside of your business. So first, outside of you is the who is going to do it. If you're a solo agent, the who is you, right? And then how will they do it is the system that will help with that task or communication. And then what will they use? What will they do? So what does the tool do for you to help share the message? So those are our things that we're going to talk about today, but everything does start with you. Like this is the hard part that kind of stinks for us. Driven, focused business people is we just sometimes go. But if we were to really stop and pause and rate ourselves, how would you rate yourself? So on your piece of paper, guys, write this down. On a scale of 1 to 5, how do you rate yourself that you have a clear vision for your business? And then how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 that you have clarity on your personal efforts? How would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 on how are you with getting the most important things done first? You've heard all of this language before. And how are you as the owner and the leader at being cost effective? So like all things, we have to have a reality check and awareness. Successful people are very self-aware, and this is your opportunity to be very self-aware with where you are when it comes to these questions. So we have our mindset right, and now we got to get into action. We got to get right, get real and get right. So let's think about this. The people in your organization, you being the first person, do you need to take some time to reassess them? When business is really great, we allow a lot of slacking or lacking when it comes to standards or rules or metrics being met. We all do it. And so when we have a market shift, our organization must shift as well. Your leadership must shift. You must become a powerful leader who has standards. And so with that, if you need to reassess your team, your people on your team, you have to remember that you don't want to trade your time for money. So what this also means is that if you are still doing a lot of the tasks that are supposed to be leveraged, then your time isn't making you money because your number 1 job is to lead generate. So if you're hanging on to additional administrative type tasks, you are not maximizing your potential because you are the number 1 income earner inside of the business. So whenever we bring in other people, this is just a way to think about it. When you are a solo agent and you are wearing all the hats, the book says your job feels like work because you are doing everything, and you may be doing a lot of things that may not be dollar productive. But on today, let's say with some leverage and you are succeeding through others, you have help in all of those areas. You communicate with them, the work is divided up. Your work environment is now about team effectiveness and everyone works together. So just different ways to think through what leverage can look like for you. So change the way you think of leverage. So there's two different people leverage in your business. The team that you have employed, you pay them a salary or they get paid through commission. Those are your direct employees and team members. But then you have indirect people as well. And I think sometimes we forget about this. There are vendors that support us in our business. These are our title reps, our lender friends, even our insurance agents we recommend, inspectors, all of the people that we recommend to our clients, they're a part of our team as well. Are they maximizing their effectiveness when it comes to being in business with us? Because see, they're benefiting from us having buyers and sellers to work with. When we have a buyer under contract, how many people do we help out and benefit them? A lot. And so are they maximizing their effectiveness in a sense of, are they helping out by sharing referrals, by making your life easier? Are you leveraging them all that you could so that you get time back to keep lead generating in this tougher time? So the talent shift questions, this gets a little, I think I wrote this down somewhere. Is that what this one is? Yes. Okay. I want to ask you guys this question. So this may be a tough question to answer. Are you ready? When you think of people you employ, are they truly talent who magnify your potential outcomes? This is someone in your world that you pay money to either through salary or a commission. Do they magnify your potential outcomes? Do they multiply your actions to gain advantage? Do they take your business to the next level? So think right now of people in your world, and maybe this is even you. Is your talent doing this for you? Because if you're going to have a shifting market of any kind, and it's happening. We will not sell as many homes last year as we did the year before, at least the nation as a whole. So the numbers will go down. So have you as a leader, again, as a solo agent, just ask yourself these questions and maybe journal on this. Have you shared the vision for your business? Like, hey guys, this is still, here's our goal for this year. These are the numbers that we set. And then ask the team members, are they willing to do whatever it takes? It's going to be different. It might take more. It will take more. Maybe we need to realign the job descriptions and make sure everybody is nailing their role. We're going to set goals, standards, and activities for each person. These could be one-on-one conversations. I like, even if you remember through the career visioning process, toward the end, you get to have a motivational interview. That's where you have them envision their life 5 years from now, and they're looking back and they're saying, man, this is awesome. And you have them share, what does the job category of your life look like? If we're looking back and you're saying it was awesome, because you want to hear where they see themselves in your world in the future. And during a squish in the market, then maybe people aren't the fit for your team, and it's better just to let them go now if they don't have a long-term goal of being a part of your world. Establish training, very important. And then meet weekly. We're always going to stay connected, and we have to celebrate the small wins because they're not as many as they were. We have a Slack channel as a team. We communicate through a tool called Slack, and we would, share all our wins and our successes in there, and it's not dinging as much as it was last year. And so we still though need to say, yay, we're doing it. We're going to be okay. Now, we've got our people we pay directly, but then these are the indirect people. So these are what they're calling subcontractors. These are people you could leverage out some of your tasks to: bookkeeping, data entry, database, appointment setting. These are all mostly administrative type tasks. I like to say, if it's something that could be like copy and pasted, or here's the task list, did I do it or not do it? That kind of activity should be leveraged to an administrative person, a talented one, of course, but we're even leveraging so many of our activities on our team to a virtual assistant through Cyberbacker. So we have 3 Cyberbackers on our team. And if I were to pull some of these out, half of that list is probably right now done by a virtual assistant that is such a part of our team. So that is a very affordable way to keep running the business at the level you've been running at, but maybe for less money, because last week we talked about expense management. So again, these go to our partners. These are allied resources. And this is just making sure that they are also held to a high standard. If we're going to have fewer clients, we need to make sure that all of them close, that every one of them has an amazing experience. There is no excuse to not deliver an amazing experience when we have way fewer transactions going on at the same time. All right, so let's go to systems. Those were all about people. Now in systems, y'all know I love my systems. I love the checklist. I love making them better. I love seeing gaps in them. And as soon as they happen, we go, oops, that needs a new system, or something is broken. So it's just now time to reassess what you're doing. Maybe you've been running a play that isn't producing a return. So just stop it. It's taking up time or energy and maybe money. Don't run it then. Just make an adjustment. So whenever it comes to assessing and upgrading your systems, you need to be thinking about what exactly needs to be accomplished to hit our minimum goals of sales and service quality without any extra effort. Everything must be purposeful, streamlined. The goal is read less tape, fewer distractions, and break things down into basic components. Everything is going to get an overhaul, or at least a really good look at in what you're doing when it comes to a shifting market. So again, there's a system for that. Many of you I know so well have taken lots of my classes, and it's every bit of this gets covered inside of my Mirror My Business or Implement My Business classes. Seller checklists and buyer checklists, what we do for lead generation, follow-up, and marketing, database management. All of these are systems. If you don't already have a system for these things, then just tap into some of the trainings I already have, or even inside my group. We have tons of great tools. The cool thing is most of these are already created. I'm certain that they are. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so I encourage you not to, because I'd rather you be lead generating and bringing in business than getting too in the weeds of creating some of these systems from scratch. So tools, it's time to reassess the tools you're using and power your success. So tools to me even fall into things like the technologies that we use right now. If you are using Command, inside of Command, you've got database management and transaction, customer experience, marketing, calendars, and referrals. Many of these are also covered inside of other tools and technologies if you are not using Command. And so what tool are you using? How much does it cost? If you're with Command, it's free. If you have other tools like we do, how much does it cost? Is it still worth it? Is it still producing a return on investment? We always want to be keeping an eye on that. So this is the overview of leverage. Leverage for some people can sound or feel kind of scary, like they don't know where to start. It feels overwhelming. Forget it. I'll just keep doing it myself. And I was there once. I was totally there once. And every time I have leveraged off a little bit more of my life and my business, it gets better. It gets so much better. I have more time. actually. And then I can go build and do more and bring in more leverage or bring in more business for my team. It's just a wonderful way to live our lives, I promise. So let's pause there. That was just the first part of tapping into leverage. So I want to mastermind around this here for a minute. What did you guys hear, or what are you guys looking at in your businesses that are allowing you to maximize your leverage? Anyone?
We're thinking about switching to a virtual assistant.
Yes.
And I don't know what to give them to do. I mean, we need help, but I don't know what to expect them to do.
That's a very, 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 very common statement and question. And, honestly, Linda, I think that the best place to start is just having a notepad by your desk and by you all day long. And every time you're doing something you should not be doing, write that down. It can start with transaction management type activities, things that are pretty easy to teach someone how to do it. That's where you start. You make a list of that, becomes your job description. Anyone else have a good answer for her on that?
That's pretty much what I was going to say. Even when you asked us to kind of rate ourselves, just stepping back a second and taking the assessment, because sometimes you just go, and you're not really taking the time to really figure out where the gaps are.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get it done.
You're so right, Michaela. That's awesome. What else do you guys think inside of leverage that you either need help with or you're really succeeding at inside of this adjusting market? Jennifer.
I had to unmute myself. I have really taken on leverage over the last few years, and I'm a little concerned that in a shifting market, maybe I'm over leveraged.
Yeah.
So the focus, I have a full-time operations, a third-party transaction coordinator, which has been great, even thinking how to manage your money, right? Because she only gets paid for each closing. A part-time marketing assistant. And now, with all of that, I just have to be cognizant of using the extra time I have for dollar producing hours instead of, I have all this free time. What should I do?
Yeah. And I think you're so right. It should be freeing you up to go do the other stuff. But sometimes we've been so in our rut of habit that we have to get ourselves outside of it. I'll tell you guys the truth. If any of you are solo agents or new in your leverage growth, I had huge withdrawals when I passed off activities that I had held on to for so long. I mean, even like data entry stuff, putting a listing in MLS, like I thought I was pretty darn good at it. I was very efficient, right? Like I was so proud of all these skills that I had that are not dollar productive. And when I started leveraging off some of this stuff, I realized, oh my goodness, like I started feeling like I had no purpose anymore. And then I go, oh, wait, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Now I got to go find more business so that I am able to help feed this great team that I have created. So I love that. Good point. All right. Well, we'll keep rocking if you guys don't have anything else, but we will have some more pauses here in just a minute. Again, okay, so success happens. So the cool thing about this fun little new training is that I love the format. We got to get real, get right with our mindset. We got to get real with our mindset, get real with getting into action. And then lastly, success happens. So just in this first section of leverage, let's think about creating an action plan for you. So these will be great questions. Maybe you want to take a picture of this or circle it if you print it out or have your workbook. What would you say then that when you evaluate your effectiveness, I stay focused by time blocking and completing those 6 core competencies? Those are all time blocked. I know how to evaluate when it's time to add more people and leverage. Kind of to Jennifer's point about the fear of being over leveraged because maybe you have some nice size salaries on your team. I just then make sure that I am really, really connecting and meeting with those people to keep them on task so they are worth every penny of the hours that they work, if that makes sense. We really want to make sure that they are effective and efficient in their time, and they're not just lollygagging around, because there's no time for that in this new market. We want them to maximize their 40 hours a week or whatever their salary is, their job description is for their salaries. I know which activities are most dollar productive and must be completed first. It's a time block. We're going to talk about next section. I have the right allied resources on my team. So I think a thing to ask yourself here is, are my allied resources providing me with leads or referrals? That's a great partnership to have. And or are they partnering with you in other ways to support you? So this would be having sponsorships for all your client events. This is a really great way. We just met with our title rep, who typically they don't have a lot of money to give us because they, their numbers are slimmer than like a lender's, or marketing budgets are a little different than some. And so we just got them to agree to, we're doing quarterly in-town agent masterminds at a local restaurant that has a really cool space. And we asked if they would be able to sponsor it for $250. And they said yes. So are there things that you're paying for nickel and dime stuff that you could just have a partner that's helping you out? That really helps your bottom line. And you need to make sure you're having them help you out, because you help them. That's how we have to remind ourselves. So I communicate my expectations and standards with everyone on my team. Many of you know me pretty well, and you remember a story of my team was out of control. It was like the wild, wild west. See, Jennie had these ideas of what was expected of the team members when it came to when they received a lead and how fast they responded, and if they added notes to the CRM. And I finally, I was done. We were so out of control that I actually went out of town to an event. I met with a girl, and she was an operations manager for actually Wendy Papazan's team, just the authors of this book's wife. And she shared with me their team standards. And there's 5 things on it. You must do this, you must do this, must do this, must do this, must do this. If not, you're not in good standing. And then this happens, and this is how you get out of being in not good standing, and what happens and how do you do it. And that's all it took. I came back, I tweaked it up a little bit to fit our world. I came back at the first team meeting. This is always the team probably fears when I leave town. I come back and I say, hey guys, time out. I have failed you as a leader, because I had certain expectations about how leads and referrals would be handled and how our productivity would be measured or how you'd be held accountable. And they just weren't written down or documented. And that's not fair to you. Because see, I start creating stories in my mind and I don't like them. I'd rather us be on the same page and all in agreement. And they were like, okay, cool. And I just said, would you all agree that it is important that ... If you're in any of my classes right now, you guys will get these standards, so don't worry. And I would just list through them, and they said, yes, those are all important and we all agree. And I said, perfect. I'll email it to you later and you guys can sign off on it. So now we had commitment that they were all in on standards, and then I could hold them to it. And I didn't feel bad, because that's the problem, is a lot of us as leaders, we start fearing that they're not going to like us. But now it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the rules and the standards for the team. And we all follow them because that's who we are. All right.
So is that like something you would put into your, your personnel manual for your employees?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a part of the operations manual for the team. Yep. And then lastly, my team and I are leveraging systems and tools to increase productivity and profitability. And we're always measuring them, right? So let's keep rolling just to get into the find the motivate, and then we'll stop again here in a minute and chat. So finding the motivated is lead gen. It's our #1 job description, and we got to do it. Finding the motivated in this market is going to be different the motivated in the last market, well, everyone was motivated. Buyers with really low interest rates were for sure motivated to buy. Sellers were motivated to sell because they had tons of equity and they knew their house would sell fast. And then they had to just figure out where they were going, but they were highly motivated. This new market is going to have a different motivation. Their motivation will be determined by life events, like normally how it was. So remember, you must be more rigorous and resolute in your lead gen than ever before, and more so than anyone else. In fact, now is the time to shift your lead gen activities into the highest gear possible. I'm talking with my team, and I have great agents on my team. They're experienced, they are talented, they are motivated, they are trained, and they are tired. In the past month, they have been grinding it, talking to more people, more efforts, more phone calls, more text messages, more emails, more Facebook messages, more appointments that don't convert. So they are tired, and that is just going to be how it goes. But if we have to find somebody to buy a house today, we got to find the motivated. So we're going to talk about time on task over time, putting your time where it's the most effective, and top grading our lead sources, and then reaching out with consistency and value. That's all about our database, staying in touch with our people. The cause and challenge of a shift is simply one word: motivation. And that's exactly what I was sharing with you. The motivation has changed for buyers and for sellers. I feel like then that needs to up our motivation to find them, to find those who need some help. Because here's really what we need to be looking for now. You've probably heard the saying, ready, willing, and able. We're going to reverse that here. First, able is the most important. This means they have the means to buy or sell, and they will. They're pre-approved, they want to buy now, and they are motivated to do so. And ready just means that they do have a reason to move. So that adds to the motivation. And the willing is that they're agreeable to doing what it takes to move now. So able, ready, and willing are who we're looking for in a softer market like this. So these are your 6 Ds. So you could maybe like write these down or remind yourself. Real estate has always been about people buying or selling based on life events, but now we have a nice little Ds to remind us of what those look like. Unfortunately, there could be death in the family that could lead to needing to sell or buy a home, divorce, dependence, the kids move out, or you're getting one, having a baby, downsizing, you no longer need this larger home, deployment, military, they're moving, and then dividends. Dividends are really your investors. Investors are always motivated to buy when the deal is right. So maybe in a market that is a little bit different, you start upping and increasing your investor conversations or best deal lists and searching for ways to get those people into business as well. So remember your 6 Ds to find the motivated. And now we got to get real. Here's the deal. It's going to be different. You don't get to decide what the market will do, but you get to decide what you'll do. You know, I think so many of us just forgot what a seasonal shift felt like. And that's hopefully what we've just had, right? Yes. Oops. It's bad when I knock on the desk because the dog usually barks, but we're good. But we just forgot. I just had a coaching call with my awesome coach, Jordan Freed. And, you know, he said, how's it going? I said, finally, it feels like the world has woken up again. And it's just very exciting. I was honestly living a little bit of fear for a while. December was terrible. And he said, yes, I'm hearing that from across the country. And I said, well, good. That makes me happy. But it doesn't mean that we get to just take our foot off the gas. We got to still keep going and going and going. So it is a contact sport, is what Gary Keller says from MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. He says that real estate is a contact sport with simple rules. So being a contact sport just means that you got to make contacts. You're not going to get to help anybody if you don't have a conversation with them or have some way of knowing that they need some help. So we want to connect with them through prospecting and marketing. You meet with them, you either do business or you don't. And then either way, they go into your database and they start receiving your touches over and over and over again for life until they say, stop it, take me out of your database. Then, okay, you can get out. But the fun 6 personal perspective that's attached to this tactic or strategy is the 80-20 principle. Because when it comes to lead generation, it has to be a time block, period. It really needs to be your top time block of your workday. And that means that you're going to take time to plan and to get into action. So our big rocks from the 80-20 principle, you guys remember that 20% of our efforts equals 80% of our results. You got to go small and focus on the most important big rocks first in your day, and the rest can wait until after 11:01 or be delegated to somebody else. If it's all you as a solo agent, then you just have to do it at a different time. And maybe that's when you have time block later in your day is administrative activities or talking with clients to negotiate contracts. That should not be in your morning routine of lead generation. I hear so many times that agents aren't taking control of their calendar because they're allowing things to happen, like home inspections that they had control over being set in the morning, or a closing that they could have some control over being set in the morning. If you set the expectations with your client and with your allied resource partners, hey, every morning we are working in looking for buyers and sellers from 9 to 11 or 9 to noon. And so any of those kind of things need to happen after that. They'll be on board with you. Again, they need you to sell houses because that helps them as well. Now, this can be painful, and it's so true. To grow, you got to let go. Now more than ever, your personal actions, your people, and your systems must be focused on the 20% that matters. There is no time or money in doing 80%. Just let it go. I told you guys we have 3 virtual assistants. We have a virtual assistant that is helping with transaction management, that's helping with listing management, and one that's helping with social media and marketing. They are leverage for us. Now, that may not be the extreme that you choose to go to right now, but it is a beautiful thing when you can get to a point of each leader and person in our organization is doing their most dollar productive activities, at least in the morning hours. The rest can be leveraged off later. So this is interesting. So I kind of forgot about this, but in a seller's market, you know how it was moving so dang fast, so fast. You're really not so concerned with generating leads because you didn't need to. They just appeared. So you were really spending more of your time focused on servicing those leads, getting out and getting that buyer into that house and making all those offers. And you didn't really spend a lot of time even needing to have conversations with sellers about price adjustments or the reality of the market because their house was selling no matter the condition even. And so as we start slowing down a little bit from the extreme seller's market that we're in, I'm certain that all of you are, okay, I'll make an assumption that you're all still in what would be defined as a seller's market. You probably still have less than 5 months supply of inventory. So as it grows from that lower number, maybe a little bit bigger, you'll find though, you got to get back into the generating more leads because there aren't going to be as many opportunities. And they may fall out with uncertain times and interest rates and people not having the urgency to buy because they got to get a certain interest rate. They're going to be not as motivated as they have been in the past. So you'll find that we've really got to generate more leads. Of course, you still care about your people, you still educate them, but the time blocking is just a non-negotiable. I taught the 6 personal perspectives yesterday to some great agents in McAlester, Oklahoma. And, we spent let's see, we were 3 hours together and 1 whole hour was spent on the 80-20 principle. A whole hour was spent on time blocking for success, putting your vacation and your family time first, and you putting on your mask first by taking care of yourself, by having planning time each week so that you can evaluate where you've been and where you're going and resetting your calendar and blocking your most productive time, which is your lead generation, your follow-up, your appointment times, and a time block for your negotiations and contracts with your clients. And it just has to be done in order to feel like you are working each day. I know some of you get a lot of stuff done and you have a random to-do list, and it's not necessarily in any order versus a success list, which is starting with the most important things first. And then you are so busy, you feel like you were crazy all day, and then you go, wait, what did I actually accomplish? I just say that because that was me, totally. That was totally me. So how can you, in a new market that may be a little different, some of you may be newer in the business, and even us old dogs, we still have to remember these older conversations that we used to have. We got to practice those conversations, and we got to know our market. If you go back and you watch the first session of these strategies, that's what the whole first part was about, was just knowing your market and being a market expert. And how do you do that? Now, respect your expertise has everything to do with this quote right here, or this statistic. This is your reminder, because I think sometimes we think, oh, the buyers and sellers don't need us, or they don't want to work with us. And you have these limiting beliefs. But the truth is that 87% of buyers, 90% of sellers used an agent last year, 2021. And that is our reminder. They want to use us. They typically will use someone that was referred to them. And so don't be afraid to tap into that as a reason to stay in touch with people and have confidence. They do want to work with us. So no matter what the condition of the market, there will always be more than enough sales for you to personally reach your goals. I think this is another mindset reminder for you. This is another removing your limiting belief. Because so many times I would think, there's just not enough business out there, or I would think that I'd be competing with other people in my office, and I'm not a competitor. Like, that sounds scary and terrible. I wanted nothing to do with that. But then I realized, as I grew in my business and in my confidence, that when I had been purposely lead generating to my database or people that had come to me that I had built relationships with, they didn't interview anyone else. I rarely was in competition. And if so, actually, I was just rarely in competition. People typically only meet with 1 or 2 other realtors. And so you got a great chance if you get the appointment. And so you just got to be prepared to know what to say at that appointment, right? So with the action shift, then, guys, you've time blocked your lead generation. You're making sure that it's getting done. You're doing more than you've ever done before. And so what are ways that you can plus your plan, or making sure that you're only talking to the motivated leads? It's really just making sure that you have a pipeline of who will potentially buy or sell this year, and the motivated at the top are the ones that you're most staying in touch with. You might have to weed through some of those leads. They might not be valid anymore. And then focus on the message, because here's the deal. I love you all. I do, but I do not want your email newsletter telling me about your local market and community events that you have going on in your city. I will never unsubscribe from your email newsletter that's providing me with agent value, because see, I'm an out-of-town agent for you. So this is why tagging your database and sending the right message to the right people matters. Because if you send me something that's not pertinent to me as a realtor out of your city, then it'll get unsubscribed from. Not to be mean, it's just true, because we all have a limited amount of time. And if I have to delete, that's eating at my time and my energy. So there's my little soapbox there. So you have to do the same. You should have a goal to not be unsubscribed from. So if you have your database categorized into leads or referrals or contacts or out-of-town realtors, just make sure that your message is on point and it's going to the people that need to be hearing that message. Because with your lead generation plan, that first starts with just knowing how many contacts you need to make to get to an appointment, to get to a contract, to get to a closing. You're going to need more of all of those. And all of this will take more skill. So this is really making sure that you are practicing and role playing the new conversations. And it really inside of Shift the book, it's tactic number 7, I believe, which is maybe that's next week. I don't even know. Seller expectations. Yeah, I think it's going to be the 6th section here. And so your skills will need to change with the words that you say. And it's all good because you already have the scripts to do it. The motivated leads are ones we've been talking about. Lead generation costs time and or money. And so are you putting your lead gen time in the right place with the right people? Because you don't have it to waste. And so I love this question right here, guys. Ask yourself this. What am I doing or spending money on that is no longer effective in a shifted market? Money or time? What is not working? Because it's okay to ditch it. This is the cool part about being your own business owner, is you get to have the final say on things. If it's not effective or efficient, then ditch it or put it on hold for now. Pause. You got to be really purposeful these days. In the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the book, they talk about being prospecting based, marketing enhanced. So actually, you know what? I think originally it was written as marketing based and prospecting enhanced. And then over time, they said, wait, we got to shift that. So remembering that you need to be proactively generating leads. And this can be through all of your direct methods. This is a voice to voice, a face to face, a text and email, a Facebook message, Instagram message. That is a prospecting. Now, the marketing then becomes the things that are saying and sharing the message, like a billboard, basically, whether it is an email or ads or website signs. So they go together, they enhance each other. And so that's part of your plan, is to be doing both at both times. Because we know from Millionaire Real Estate Agent that 36 touches in a year, that's 3 touches a month to your people. What are they hearing from you and what does it sound like? And this is where the message matches the market. So are you realizing, okay, what is happening in the market right now that buyers or sellers may be concerned with? So this is an example. We just sent out and are launching a thing. It's called Love It or List It. And Jennifer knows about this. We talked about it in our group, was that love it or list it. Well, what is that addressing? Well, the objection that was addressing, that it is addressing, is that that was awesome. Can someone mute yourself, please? Thank you. That was awesome. So what the message is what's the concern? Well, buyers have concerns that the interest rates are so high. They've gone up. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Sky is falling. And so we'll just address that. Yes, it's true. Rates are not low as they have been in recent past. But did you know that the average interest rate over the last 30 years is 7.8%? You see, buyers have bought before us and everything has been just fine. It's all worked out. They either can refinance or later on, they sell their home. If it always works out. And so that was the message with the Love It or List It. And the idea is that we're so confident that when we meet with you and we have a buyer consultation and we set a plan in place to help you find your best home, your perfect home, your dream home, that when you get under contract and you close with us, and then you don't love your house, we'll list it for free. Now, of course, there's a little asterisk, there's some restrictions. They do need to pay the buyer agent commission. It needs to be within 3 months of closing date. You get to set all these rules, but it's just addressing what's happening and then having a marketing message that gets promoted and shared on our social media, in our email, in our newsletter, inside of our calendar magnet. A nice little insert went in. And so it's just a great way to acknowledge what's going on and presenting a marketing message that helps them feel good about it. The other message that we used back a couple years ago, remember when sellers' number one question was, but where will I go? Because they could sell their house, but it was a challenge to find a house to buy. Well, we created a plan that was called our seller rescue plan. And we lined out the different options that maybe they hadn't thought of. So whatever is happening in the market, just use it as your marketing. Make sure you guys are following the Wolek Group on Instagram and Facebook, so you can see our awesome cyberbacker that's posting all these great marketing messages for us right now. People will contact you if there's a direct benefit to them. Your message must make an offer to get a response. We're also adding in and using, this is another great marketing message that we're doing right now. This new book, Your First Home, we have a presentation and slides, and we're doing a buyer seminar. So that's helping to overcome maybe first-time home buyers' fears about interest rate or the market or what's going on. And so I just encourage you guys to think about those things. So this is what I talk about all the time. It's our database. We have to have consistency. We have to have a touch program in place and offer value. So information we can provide them is with, here's a free home value report. Click here to get us to send you one. Here's an upcoming buyer seminar. We're giving them access to an event. And then service, maybe we are providing a service provider list, or we're care calling them, we're serving them. So those are just some ideas to share value. This is your value proposition, is how are you giving them the extra love? We just talked about that. All right, so let's pause here and let me hear from you guys inside of the lead generation section here. What you guys think? Oh, I'll just address this LaKayla question here. Prior to meeting with Wendy, did I have more than 5? I had no standards on my team. 0. Yeah, we had just unwritten rules. And when you have unwritten rules, there's no accountability or really documented process at all. Yeah, it's painful. What else?
I definitely like the 6 Ds,
Yeah.
because it really helps you to kind of zoom into the categories and what to even listen out for.
Yeah.
And perhaps maybe even if we're speaking to someone who says, oh, I don't have a need right now, it gives you an opportunity to give those suggested categories to them, because surely when they're out and about, they're gonna most likely hear something.
Yeah, great point. Thank you for that. Hi, Mindy.
Hi there. Actually, pivoting off of what LaKayla just said, when I ask somebody who they know that's looking to make a move in 2023 and they say, I don't know, I remind them of those 6 Ds and say, well, who do you know that just went through a divorce or is thinking of that, or maybe they had a death in the family, and I go through those, as well as who had a baby, who got married. And then all of a sudden they start thinking of people, oh yeah, they might. And then that can lead to a referral.
Wow, that is super awesome. And that is proactive and purposeful, Mindy. That is a great job. I mean, even if you just were, chit-chatting with a past client or just a sphere call that was just casual conversation. And it was like, of course, business will come up. They'll say, how's it doing? You'll be like, my job is so cool. I get to help people through all their life events. Some of them are the most rewarding and exciting, like, a new marriage, a baby on the way, all of these exciting times to buy or sell a home. And then sometimes we help people in some of the saddest times, like a death or divorce, so have you heard of anybody who is going through any of those life events that may need some help? I mean, that could just be like a natural way for them to then like it be planted in their mind of, oh yeah, you do help people in the high highs and the low lows, which is why we are so highly paid for our efforts, right? Hi, Charlene.
Hi, I just want to say thank you to Mindy and thank you to you. That was probably my most valuable piece of, because I was going to, of information. That was like, I don't know, how does James say it? That was like, whoa, the stars are shining. Basically, because I was going to say, now, how do you identify? You know what I mean? I can be, rather searchy on things because I always want an easy answer, I have to say. And I was wondering how you found them, but that is such an easy way when you're talking to somebody just to kind of bring that up. And that would be give them ideas of where to look.
Yeah.
So I think that is an excellent idea. So thank you so much. I definitely will be using that. So thank you to both you and Mindy.
Yeah.
And the reason I had originally raised my hand is a lot of times if I'm doing some marketing things, I'm always trying to think of, or what I'm posting is beside the three that you mentioned, areas of value. I'm always trying to look at what value can I offer people so they don't want to unsubscribe. Do you have any other suggestions beside the three you mentioned? Because you know what I mean? What do people really want?
Our plan is definitely built around having client events in person or online. So things like giveaways and reasons for them to want to sign up to win a giveaway. We're doing right now, putting a first-time homebuyer seminar on your calendar gives you all kinds of touches, and sharing the link. Hey, if you can think of anybody who would benefit from this buyer seminar. I'm trying to make it not just first-time home buyers, because really, if you haven't bought a home in a while, you're kind of starting over in a new market, right? So I think having strategic events or giveaways on your calendar are your best ways to share value. Always what's coming up next to invite them to, what's coming up next to invite them to. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Anything else on that? Lead generation, time blocking it, accountability with it, remembering that it is our most dollar productive activity. And sometimes we can get in the weeds and allow the other activities, those 80% stuff, to just get in our way. It happens all the time, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, let me finish up here with these slides and we can wrap this up. Okay, so let me share with you guys. I actually am a franchise owner for Cyberbacker in Arkansas and Oklahoma. And so obviously I'm a fan, and we have amazing talent on our team. I know many have also benefited from having a Cyberbacker. So if you're interested in learning more or just curious, you can fill out this form and we'll reach out to you. And you may not be in our region, but we can get you talking to somebody who would be a total plus in your business. Depending on what you're looking for, they can help with all of the tasks, even having a personal assistant, which I think is my next hire, to be honest. Okay, success happens. We've talked about the getting real, the getting right, and now we have to get into action. So I really want to ask you guys to think about this. How effective are you right now in your business on staying focused on your 20%? Is your 20% time blocked? Like a dinger on your phone that says time to lead generate, and that is a time block. Nothing else gets into that. I have created time blocking and I will use it to focus on lead gen. I know who is motivated in this market and I plan to pursue them. We just listed it, those 6 Ds, right? That's who's for sure going to be buying or selling. And then anybody else you've talked to, this is a good reminder if you don't have one. It's not it's not complicated to create one, but it's called a pipeline report. You have a spreadsheet, and when somebody says, not right now, but for sure, I want to talk again in May when the kids are out of school about selling, then that is a pipeline person. They go on a separate spot where you do not forget about them. And if they want to talk in May, what does that mean? You touch back with them. Well, for sure, I cut that in half. And then I'm probably still going to have a touch each month just to say hello. So you do not want people, you don't want to get to June and go, oh crap, I forgot about them. And they've already sold their house. So having a pipeline report for you is super important. And it could be on a whiteboard in front of your face. It could be a notepad. It could be on your computer. It could be inside your CRM, whatever it looks like for you, so you don't forget. We used to just have a big whiteboard that we had when they were ready to transact in front of our faces, so they were not forgotten. And you know your top 3 lead gen sources. We didn't even dive into this much, but don't be creating a whole new lever in your business of lead gen when you haven't been doing that. That takes time, energy, money. Stick with who is already your top sources. It's probably your database. It could be agent to agent referrals. It could be expired listings. Whatever it is, stick with what you already have systems around and just plus it. Make it better. Do more. Double down. And then, of course, I'm committed to staying in contact with my database. You know that you got your touches. We're implementing the Do the Database too. You've probably heard of it. It's just touching 2 letters of the alphabet each week. Our agents are calling their spheres. Our cyber backers are texting all of our unmet database in using the database, Do the Database too. All of those people are assigned to me. And so I can tell when they are sending text, it comes through, it's sent like it's from me. Says, hi, it's Jennie with the Wolek Group. At one point in the past, we had talked about real estate, just seeing if you need any help, let me know. That's it. And they're replying back. And they're either saying, no, thanks, or I already bought last year, or yes, maybe in 6 months. But either way, we're getting a response from an unmet lead that had never been converted ever. So what are ways you can utilize your virtual leverage or your administrative leverage in this slower time? See, how this idea came for me was we just had brought on a virtual assistant to help with listings. Guess how many listings we have right now? Not very many. So if we have a full-time person sitting at a computer wanting to work with us and talented and trainable, now half her job is messaging our database. So what leverage do you already have that you could change some tasks around to really get them to maximize their effectiveness and help us clean up our database, help us stir up leads and referrals that we might have lost otherwise. All right, so the basics of lead gen never go out of style in any market, and you can improve your skill over time and practice. The 60s may be your best source to find motivated leads. And thank you, Mindy, for sharing that great script in there. And lead generation is a contact sport. You got to make lots of contacts. Focus on your best lead sources. Don't stop. Add every lead to your database and continue to provide value. Real estate's about timing. So it's never an offensive, it's not offensive if somebody says not right now or no thanks, or I don't know anybody right now. It's a timing thing. So we just want to keep planting the seeds. See, it's our job to remind them what we do. It's not their job to remember us. So there's my little words of wisdom there. So this is what we did today. I hope you guys got some good nuggets out of that. And when the market changes, you don't slow down. You ramp it up. Let's go. We are so fired up right now here on our team, and hopefully you're feeling some good positive energy this week as well. It's a weekend. I hope you enjoy it. If you are not a part of my Facebook group, make sure that you sign up to get inside of there, because I like sharing stuff, doing things. Any last comments or questions or any of this stuff?
You've taken down the slides. I was asking, can I catch that QR code again?
Yes, you can. For the cyberbacker.
The cyberbacker. Mhm.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me go back. There you go. Got it?
Yes, it doesn't always pick up. Okay.
Did it work?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, you guys, I'm just so grateful to get to spend time with you. And I will be posting this in my group. If you want to share it with others who you feel like they might need some reminders about leverage and lead gen, you're welcome to invite them to see it. But otherwise, happy Friday. Have a great weekend. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.